Hello and welcome, preppers. Are you ready to explore the fascinating world of Great Depression foods? Today we're going to take a trip down memory lane and revisit some of the simple yet ingenious recipes that were popular during the economic hardship of the 1930s. As preppers, you understand the importance of being prepared for any situation, and that includes being able to feed yourself and your family during tough times. That's why we're excited to share with you 15 Great Depression foods that may just make a comeback in the near future. During the Great Depression, people had to get creative with the limited resources they had available. They learned to make do with what they had and often found ways to stretch their meals to feed more people. Some of the dishes that were popular during this time were simple, yet tasty and filling. The story of the 1929 stock market crash is a sobering tale of how the once prosperous lives of millions of Americans were drastically altered. Middle-class families became poor, and poor households fell into abject misery for more than a decade. Fast forward to today, and experts are warning of the biggest stock market bubble in history, poised to burst. We've come a long way since the 1930s, but our leaders continue to make the same mistakes. As history threatens to repeat itself, the question is, will you be prepared? A comprehensive article by Catherine Peterson on Oscar Prepper provides valuable insights on how to get creative with our meals and understand how Americans survived the dark times of the Great Depression. Back then, essentials such as meat, eggs, and milk were in extremely short supply, and people had to stretch their resources. The same shortages are happening today, and it's just a matter of time before another financial disaster throws our economy into chaos. In this video, we've compiled a list of popular meals from the Great Depression era, which may soon become essential for us all. Before we dive in, please support our work with a thumbs up and subscribe to stay updated. Now, let's explore 15 Great Depression foods that we might be eating again soon. 1. Wacky Cake. Developed out of necessity when milk and eggs were scarce, this simple recipe requires only vinegar, baking soda, cocoa powder, sugar, flour, and dark chocolate. Mix the ingredients, bake, and enjoy a frugal, tasty dessert or snack. 2. Potato pancakes. A popular recipe that has stood the test of time. These pancakes are made from grated potatoes, baking powder, flour, and an egg. Add any extra ingredients you like, such as cheese or onions. 3. Old-fashioned cornbread. A Depression-era favorite, this version requires just cornmeal, water, and salt. You can also modify the recipe based on what you have in your pantry. 4. Chipped beef on toast. With meat in short supply, this dish was made from thin slices of beef, butter, and milk served over toast. It was simple, filling, and quite tasty, which is why it became a staple in the diets of many Americans during that time. 5. Coffee soup. An unusual but easy-to-make dish created by the Amish, it consisted of hot coffee poured into a bowl with toasted bread bites, cream, and sugar. It provided warmth and energy to workers and was a popular breakfast option. 6. Poor Man's Meal. Presented by Clara Canucciari, host of Great Depression Cooking with Clara. This dish involves sautéing peeled potatoes and onions in a pan, adding tomato sauce, and then placing sliced hot dogs with the veggies to cook. Serve with a side of ketchup for an extra touch. 7. Hoover Stew. Named after President Herbert Hoover, this stew was served in soup kitchens across the country. It typically consisted of cooked macaroni, hot dogs, canned tomatoes, and canned corn, all combined in a pot and simmered before being served. 8. Cabbage Soup. Nutritious and rich in antioxidants and vitamins, cabbage soup can be adapted with additional veggies, such as carrots, onions, peas, and lentils. For a heartier meal, add ground beef, chicken, or pork. 9. Dandelion Salad. When leafy greens were scarce, dandelion greens replaced lettuce in salads. Simply wash the dandelions, cut up any vegetables you want, and mix everything in a bowl. Dandelions are great for the immune system and digestion, and they help protect your body against free radicals. 10. Vinegar Pie. With fruits like lemons and apples hard to come by, vinegar was used to add tartness to plain pie recipes. Layer a pie crust with butter, sugar, flour, and nutmeg. Then add vinegar to hot water and pour it over the pie filling. Bake for an hour and enjoy a sweet and tart pie that can be topped with brown sugar, maple syrup, cinnamon, or raisins. 11. Meat and potato patties. An excellent way to stretch your meat supply. Combine ground beef, shredded potatoes, chopped onions, flour, an egg, a little water, and your preferred spices. Shape into patties and cook in a hot skillet. Add tomato juice for extra juiciness. 12 navy bean soup, a flavorful and affordable winter soup made with beans, carrots, celery, onions, garlic, and any other available vegetables, as well as your choice of meat. Cook the soup on low until it reaches your desired consistency. 13. Stuffed peppers. A timeless dish, stuff bell peppers with a mixture of rice, ground beef, and tomato sauce, adding cheese on top if desired. Place them in a shallow baking dish with water or sauce and bake for 15-20 minutes. 14. Goulash. A versatile dish made from macaroni, ground beef, tomatoes, and any additional vegetables you have on hand. Cook the macaroni and beef separately, then combine with tomato sauce and season to taste. Top with grated cheese and bake for 15-20 minutes. 15. Peanut butter bread. A product of resourceful thinking during the Great Depression. This bread requires flour, sugar, salt, baking powder, milk, and peanut butter. Mix the dry ingredients, add milk, and then peanut butter. Pour the batter into a greased pan and bake for an hour. With supply chains being disrupted and essentials disappearing from store shelves, it's understandable to feel a little anxious. But with a little preparation, you can avoid the panic that sets in when you realize you're out of something crucial. One area where you can make a big impact is in the kitchen. A lot of people assume that they need a ton of different ingredients or expensive foods to make something tasty. But that's just not true. With some know-how and a willingness to adapt, you can cook delicious meals with just a few basic ingredients. Culinary is something that's deeply ingrained in our culture. We gather around meals with family and friends, celebrate special occasions with food, and even find comfort in a favorite dish when we're feeling down. In tough times, it's often hearty, nourishing meals that give us the drive to keep fighting. That's why it's so important to make preparations for when the staples we rely on become scarce. By stocking up on a few key ingredients, you can ensure that you'll be able to cook satisfying meals, even if your options are limited. Rice, beans, canned tomatoes, and spices are all great staples that can be used in a variety of dishes. Of course, food isn't just about sustenance. It's also a way to connect with others and build a sense of community. When we share a meal with others, we're forging bonds and creating memories. In times of crisis, this connection becomes even more important. It's no secret that we're facing some serious economic and financial challenges. The warning signs are all around us, and it's possible that supply chains could be disrupted even further. But that doesn't mean we have to panic. By making conscious choices about what we buy and how we prepare our food, we can weather the storm. Our leaders may have made some questionable decisions that have led us to where we are today, but that doesn't mean we're powerless. By taking control of our own food supply and making smart choices, we can ensure that we're able to feed ourselves and our loved ones, even in the toughest of times. So why not start preparing today? You'll feel much better knowing that you're ready for whatever the future may hold.